thank you for taking the time out of your day to have a chat about the up-and-coming sales. So today we're joined by Simon Booth and Colby Eade from the Nutrien Equine team. How are you going, guys?
Good, thank you.
Great, Selena. Thanks for having us.
That's good. So how's life in COVID-19 been going for you guys? How's it affected the agency game for you guys?
Yeah, it all come pretty quick, as we know, and we had to all readapt really quickly with our upcoming sort of Supreme sale, and also throughout our livestock sales. There's a lot more sort of paperwork involved and a lot more procedures to go through, but we've had sales successfully through the period, so everything's going forward at this stage.
Yep, still ticking along. So obviously COVID has directly affected the Supreme sale, which would have been ran maybe a couple months ago now even. And that's brought into you guys running an online Supreme sale, and also the John Breckelman's and the Kylie Graham Mangala sale, which is a specialised sale for them. So obviously that sale evolved from those horses were originally going to be dispersed through the Supreme sale. You guys have brought forward a special sale for them, which will be held on June 13th. Colby, can you tell me a little bit about how that sale will be run on June 13th?
Yeah, so the sale will be obviously commence at 11 a.m. At the Glenvale Room and the Toowoomba Showgrounds. It'll be interfaced with Auctions Plus, so you'll be able to bid through the Auctions Plus platform, contact one of our Nutrien Equine team to bid by the telephone, and it'll be a live stream auction through the Auctions Plus platform.
Both these studs, so John Breckelman's horses, the Ducks horses, and Kylie Graham's Mangala horses, they both some renowned horses that, obviously Brex and Kylie's been selling horses through the Classic and through the Supreme for many years. So there's some top quality horses on offer. And so what are some of the picks that you guys have for that sale?
I suppose it depends how long you got. There's not really a bad one being catalogued. Like, as you said, and I know we say that all the time, but, it's a very, I guess, a special opportunity and a rare opportunity to purchase horses, I guess, being like Brex horses are a genuine dispersal, bar a few family favourites, which people would have seen in other interviews with Margaret as the horses are keeping, and then Kylie and Matt's horses, they've been bred purposely for the performance horse industry, and there's horses there by Metallic Cat, possibly the best sire that we have seen come to Australia. You got Acres horses, Conman horses, like all the modern greats of camp draft and cutting challenge. They're in both drafts of horses. So, and you've got horses there that have multiple open camp draft winners. You have NCHA futurity, money earners. There's a list. It's probably too many to name just one, Selena. Like, there's 36 horses in that sale. All of them, potentially could go on and do. Yeah.
That's right, and they're out of there's a few that are out of Ducks Hall of Fame there, and also a couple other Hard and Henry ridden horses that have attracted a lot of interest. Simon,
and then like as Colby said, with Ducks in the Breckelmans, and then you go into Kylie's horses, you got the Mellow line there, which everyone knows.
And she did mention in her interview the other day that she's obviously retained the fillies in that Mellow line because she thinks so much of them, and the boys are only on offer because they're boys, but there's some quality and geldings that are on offer. And I think like what you see in this dispersal and reduction is horses that are going to suit, whether you're going cutting or whether you're going to go chase cows. There's a lineup for everything. So there's going to be a lot of people looking at this sale and a lot of interest, I feel, as well.
Yeah, I think so. And both drafts of horses offered for genuine sale. They're not not going out of it. We all know, obviously, why Brex horses are there. And as we said with Kylie and Matt's, you can't keep them all, and there's plenty of horses behind them. And this is just, it's a redundant sale of the stud, and they'll keep going with what they're doing. So, it could be a good chance to get in and buy some of those genetics that, as we said, like those colts, they wouldn't have been if they were fillies. So, how else do you get your hands on those genetics?
Some of these horses in the sale are eligible for the Supreme incentives. Can you explain some of the incentives that are on offer?
Yep. So the horses in the Breckelman and the Mangala sale, they are marked in the catalogue. So if you go on Oxens Plus or on a Nutrien Equine, they are marked. Yep. So the yearling horses will be eligible for a 2-year-old incentive next year. Yep. And then the ridden 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds will be eligible for the Supreme Camp Draft. And then the older horses, obviously, for the Masters Draft in 2021. And then, obviously, the Supreme Sale or the Birthday Bonanza, as we relabeled it for this year, that'll run end of July, start of August. Those horses too will all be eligible for incentives in 2021.
Nutrien's done such a great job in making sure that those horses are promoted really well through. So obviously, a lot of people aren't actually going to be able to go and see these horses in the flesh, because as we know, when you go to a sale, you can go and look at the horses, you see them walk through the ring, you can check them out. You can see stuff leading up to the sale and so on and so forth. But it's a little bit harder for people to get that all-round perspective. But Nutrien's done such a great job to, obviously put together those sale videos and showcase those horses on, through the Auctions Plus platform, through the Nutrien web page as well as their social page, and give that all round view of those horses, from every angle, because a lot of purchasers aren't going to be able to see them. But so that's a real credit to you guys to be able to do that, because this is the first time this has been done in the performance horse industry, or really an online sales such as this. So it might very well be the start of something. I think you guys have done a great job to showcase it properly. And so obviously the sale is running on the 13th at 11 a.m. interface with Auctions Plus. So how do people bid?
Yeah, so obviously they go through and register as a buyer on the Auctions Plus platform. And then, and if they would like to bid via telephone, like we do at any of our other equine sales, livestock sales across the country, well, they can, we'll put them in contact with one of our staff to be able to have a phone contact during the day. Also, we will have bid cards. They can also bid live there on the day also. So that will be available also.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's excellent. So moving on a little bit to the Nutrien Supreme online sale, Birthday Bonanza, that you guys have developed through obviously not being able to run your usual Supreme sale. So how does this sale work? Obviously, this one's a little bit different. It's not a live sale like the Kylie and Breck sale. How does this sale work exactly on Auctions Plus?
Obviously, Selena, due to COVID-19, we decided to I suppose reinvigorate the sale. As we had some sort of 300 odd horses sort of catalogued for that sale prior to COVID-19. So we decided to do something a little different regarding a timed online sale. So it'll have the chance for people over a course of those days to bid on those horses, which it'll wind up on the horse's birthday. On the Saturday, the 1st of August. So they'll have the chance, to go, bid through the Auctions Plus platform, register as a buyer, and go back and have a look at those lots over those days as those horses, sell over the course of those days.
Yeah, that's really good. So obviously, how do people nominate? So obviously the nominations have been open for a little while, and you guys have just extended them for another week. So how can people directly nominate their horse if they're interested in nominating?
So you nominate as always. We do the same way we do now with all the Nutrien sales. So you go to nutrienequine.com.au and follow the links through there. So you can nominate online yourself, put your own photos, your own videos, those sorts of things there. On the page, as we do, as if it was a normal sale any other year.
Now, obviously, with not being able to run the Supreme this year, there's a number of incentives from last year's sale that still need to be run. How's it all going to work for next year? Obviously, we're going to have to roll a few things into one. What's your plan for next year to be able to make sure that all the horses that are eligible for the incentives are actually are going to be able to compete and go for those incentives?
Yeah. So next year we will run the incentives that were for this year. So in the 2020 incentives will run in 2021. So we looked at potentially running them at the end of this year. And I think if everything gets up again, like the performance horse calendar will be pretty pretty choked down, I'd say, this year with everyone wanting to run other events.
Yeah.
So we'll go, what we thought we'd do, we'll run the incentives from this year at next year's sale. So those horses will run those in 2021 as if those incentives were in 2020. So the horses that are eligible for the 2021 incentives won't compete against the horses that are eligible for the 2020 incentives. But then if you've got the horses that, say, like the horses that were eligible this year and are eligible again next year, they will get 2 goes next year at that incentive. So, potentially going forward, we may run an extra day in 2021. So whether, like the Supreme's traditionally 4 days, so whether we stretch it over 5 days next year to fit those in. All incentives that were advertised for 2020 will be honoured, and we'll run those with the Supreme sale in 2021.
Yeah, that's really good. So thinking about, like, obviously, COVID has made a lot of events either have to cancel or have to reschedule or change the way they are. And as we've seen with the horse sales, you guys are putting them online. So do you think there's potential for maybe post-COVID times, like online horse sales to run? Do you think that the industry has grown big enough? Like, obviously Nutrien has had a huge impact on the performance horse industry growth over the years. We've seen what the Classic has done to the performance horse industry. It's developed it a huge amount over the years and created a real professional industry in itself. Do you think that the industry is now big enough to potentially offer something like that, online sale, like maybe an annual online sale each year?
Yes, Len, I do. And we spoke about it as a organisation. Obviously, this has probably pushed us into doing something a fair bit earlier, and due to the COVID restrictions. So we've I do. I definitely think that there's definitely opportunity. I think the industry is there. And definitely the numbers of performance horses on offer are definitely there that don't fit into maybe a Nutrien sort of classic sale or Supreme sale or so definitely it's another option to better offer our vendors across the country.
I think the big thing is too, Selena, like horses are purpose bred now to sell. People aren't just breeding a horse to compete on themselves. They're breeding them with a purpose to sell them. So I think it's exactly as you said with the Classic, it's become an industry on its own.
Yeah, that's it. And you see a lot of people that per se wouldn't have gotten into it before professionally are doing it now. Like, you just see that influx of trainers in the industry, and because people know that they have to, most of the time they have to send their horse. If they can't work that horse well and get it out there themselves, if they can't do that, they know if they want good money for their horses that they either have to send them to a trainer or have some established training program in them to get the money that they desire for the horse. And I think it's really good for the industry. It's professionalized it. It's made better horses. It's made competition better to watch. So so it's really interesting to see. And I personally think that there's quite an open door here, and it's really good seeing Nutrien take the reins of running the first lot of performance horse industry online sales. Like we saw Inglis do it with their Easter sales and so on and stuff, and that was really good. Obviously a different market of horses and a sort of bigger market in that respect, but it's good to see Nutrien take the reins because they are the leaders in this industry with horse sales. So it's good to see them take the reins through and go online. So, and I think, and they always do the right thing by trying to market their sales properly and that professional aspect. So it's going to be good to, I really feel that it's going to, work. I'm excited to see and I think the whole industry is excited to see what this Brex and Kylie Graham Mangala stud sale will bring. Obviously it's great to start with such a top caliber of horses on offer. I think that's really important. And then obviously the online Supreme as well. Like I like the layout for that as well, with the where you can be bidding over those multiple days and look at a range of horses. So yeah, it should be really good. And just going back to that Supreme online sale quickly. So are you having horses as well as your led horses as well as riddens in that sale as usual?
No, so the Supreme sale is essentially the Toowoomba Supreme sale we've just put online. So there'll be led yearlings as always in Toowoomba, the brood mares, they'll be in there, and the ridden horses well. So it'll be a pretty good catalogue of horses too. Like there'll be something there to fit everybody. So like as you said before, the incentives. So like those yearlings will be eligible for a 2021 2-year-old challenges. They always are.
Yeah.
And then the broodmares obviously are what they are, and the ridden horses will be eligible to come back for the King of Drafts over the next few years, providing they are in the correct age. So either for the Supreme or the Masters King of Drafts.
Yeah.
And Selena, probably from a perspective too, it's it's a different sort of sale format, so it gives them an opportunity to be able to select their lots out. And if they reach their budget regarding throughout the sale of this timed online sale, then they can go back to the second and third and fourth pick.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's a unique opportunity to go through and with their particular budget and get the horse they want. But they can they reach a budget on one horse and then they come back onto their second and third pick.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good outline to work a sale off, and it'll be really interesting. You know, we've seen Auctions Plus work really well for, you know, of course, the cattle and sheep sector and everything, and so it's going to be interesting having it run horse sales now. So it's really good and a credit to their platform too to be able to offer that. So
and also they'll be able to go through and talk to the agents across those course of those days, backwards and forwards to vendors to make sure they're comfortable in the lots that they're trying to buy. And that just gives that little bit more time for first timers and people that are probably using the system already, like you said, whether you're selling livestock or sheep or etc. through that. So that probably just gives them a bit more freedom, unlike a live auction in that regard. Yeah.
And I think another positive too, Selena, for the buyers this year is with the online sale, like, you know, the last few years we've traditionally catalogued, you know, high 2s, early 300s in that Supreme sale. Won't be, you know, there's not going to be 3 horses in that online sale. So, you know, if you're looking to purchase an incentive horse, it's going to be a pretty good year to buy one.
Definitely.
You know, like there potentially would be 100, 150 horses on sale. So, you've doubled your chance, I guess, of coming back to win some money next year. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, it's really good, and I think like it can be a little bit daunting for potential purchasers, as I mentioned earlier, to buy a horse, well, predominantly sight unseen. But I think that I suppose the joys of technology these days, like, you know, your iPhone, like people can take amazing footage with their iPhones, or they can go get someone to take footage for them or whatever, and so we can still showcase those horses to the best of the abilities, and it's I suppose it's similar to what, you know, the both the Supreme and the Classic are live streamed each year, and, you know, pre-works are put up and everything like that for buyers that can't be there to be able to view them. And I think that's the great thing with technology, is that we can actually see those horses and basically flesh them out without not really having to be there. So,
another thing like we've pushed with the Mangala and the Breckelman sale is, you know, those horses have been available for inspection. So, you know, if you were more comfortable, I know like there's been plenty of people looked at those horses online and are confident with their, you know, with their judgments. But there has also been a fair number of people who have made the arrangements with either, you know, Kylie or with Margaret to inspect those horses with the upcoming Supreme sale too. You know, by all means, get in contact with the vendors, and as long as they're happy with it, there's no pushback from Nutrien for, you know, potential buyers to go and inspect those on property before the sale.
Yeah, that's it. So, no, it will be good. It'll be interesting to see how it all goes. I think it's going to go really well. Obviously, you know, Nutrien's done a great job, you know, promoting it and getting it going and putting it all together, and it's a real credit to the team to make it all happen. So, obviously, we've got just go through when the Kylie and Breck sale will be on again for us, Colby.
The sale will be on the Saturday, the 13th of June. I'm going to hold that at the Toowoomba Showgrounds at the Glenvale Room. We'll be able to, there'll be a bid card registered there on the day. Like I said, you can bid through Auctions Plus or bid via the telephone. Obviously, the live feed of the auction will be through Auctions Plus. You'll be able to see all the links through the Nutrien Equine page, social media page, etc. To view that auction. No, Simon and I have been very, very keen about this sale. It's it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for us as a team to do something different as a sale format. But to honour someone like John Breckelman with the dark horses and also Colby with her horses from the Mungala side also. So an opportunity for a lot of people around Australia to get their hands on essentially some of the best of the performance horse industry pedigrees throughout the country. So we'd like to see everyone there. Everyone view the sale online, and we'd like to see everyone there on Saturday. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to have a chat to us about the up and coming sales, and we wish all the vendors the best of luck with the sale, and we know it'll all go really well. And so thank you very much. And of course, anyone watching, if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with the Nutrien Equine team, or just check out their website for any further information. And thank you for that, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Selena.